Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's Headmaster's blog. It's Friday the 18th of March, and the sun is shining and the stage is set for Nelson House Day, which will take place in just a few minutes' time after lunch. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of the boys and girls enjoy the conviviality of that afternoon. And warm thanks to Miss Patel and the house staff who have spent a lot of time at a busy time of term in putting that together. And it's fantastic to see that the weather has been conducive for everyone to have such a wonderful way and a platform for the weekend ahead. It's been a very busy week here with Wellbeing Week at the school. I mean, needless to say, wellbeing is of paramount importance to us at any given day and at any given time throughout the year. But we've had a real focus on pastoral understanding over the last few days. It kicked off with the visit of musician Nathan Gerd last Friday, who really enthralled all of the children. Paul Hannaford visited us on Monday, and that was a much more harrowing experience as he led us through some very personal insight into how drugs have basically ruined his life, at least the first half of it, and how he's turned his life around. But certainly the warnings and the indicators he gave about drugs, gangs and county lines were incredibly valuable and a really powerful insight, even if it was a hard listen at times. Certainly a subject that no school should be ducking. And then on Wednesday, we had Jackson in. Jackson is a black Labrador, a therapy dog, and he spent time with lots of our boys and girls, helping them to feel better about themselves. And I'm hoping that we will see a little bit more of Jackson, the therapy dog, in the days and the weeks ahead. So, and a huge vote of thanks to Miss Timothy, Mr. Mitchell, and all of the staff who've put together the programme for this week's well-being, and I very much hope that it's had the desired effect, particularly set against the context and the background of all of the horrible conflict in the Ukraine, and of course everybody still coming out of the pandemic. I hope that it has boosted everybody's morale, their team ethic and their mental health as we approach the end of the term. Well done also to Form 6S and Madame Swift, who compiled a really fascinating assembly based around the topic of the Titanic, which they've been studying recently. Each of the children took on a different persona, and in particular I liked the way that this term's value of integrity was woven in to the fabric of the assembly all the way through. All the boys and girls taught with great clarity, and even acted out various parts of it. So thank you so much for inspiring us with that assembly on Wednesday. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We've also had lots of house matches this term across a range of sports. Well done to Mr. Hendry and all of the sports team. I believe that every single boy and girl has been out there fighting hard for their house, and in the final reckoning, all of those house points will tally up and be of great importance. So when we go up and have our final assembly on the last day of term up at Christ Church, you can know that every goal that you've scored, every try that you've scored, every tackle that you've made will all have counted towards that in the final reckoning. Finally, I wish all of our Year 10 students well for their impending exams next week. Obviously, they are an important dry run before we start to make predicted grades ready for your choices of sixth form destination in the months ahead. And I hope to see lots of Year 8 parents and pupils for what promises to be a very informative Year 8 GCSE options evening on Monday. Without further ado, here are this week's nominations for mentions in dispatches, and there are plenty of them, so lots of good things happening. Well done to Karen in reception for trying her best to stay focused on the carpet from Mr. Clerk. All of reception have impressed Mr. Westcott this week with their efforts in dance. Leo Joseph, lots of hard work from you, says Mrs. Lambert. Zane Jarwed and all of years 2 and 3 for their flashcards work in French from Madame Swift. Zachary Bland, a nomination for mathematics from Miss Smith. William Nelson Bowling, really good efforts in French using likes and dislikes. Seb Phillips, really good work in English from Miss Forbes. Torrin, always cheerful, reports Miss Sumners. And in general, all of Year 5 have impressed her with their efforts during assessment week. Bertie Lewis has been nominated by Mrs. Linley for being open and kind in form period when discussing Wellbeing Week. Lily Rose Milne has been fabulous in geography for the last few weeks, keeping very calm and concentrating, says Mr. Lordy. And Finley Newman has been honing his proofreading for Mrs. Seaver. All of success have really impressed Madame Swift in the way that they approached their wonderful assembly that I talked about earlier. Lucas Christie, really good work planning and experiment, says Mrs. Seaver. And Sam Ferreira-Lay has really impressed with his incredible algebra. Well done. Harry Hewitt and Thomas Reed in 7BA, well done for being honest and not following the crowd, says Mr. Barrett. Lauti Jasnikowski, well done to you for all of your work in an RS cover lesson, reports Mrs. Wood. Mrs. Wraith, very pleased with all of the artwork from 7BA at the moment, creating characters and animation. And Lauti, again, a nomination for you because you got a commendation in English from Mr. Clark. Into 7BL, Miss Black, very pleased with Hussein Khan, who's offering good feedback after PSHE. Gabriel Clark, a real interest in National Careers Week. Max Podorich, well done to you. Lots of learning about well-being and a lovely piece of mindfulness. Kishan, always offering a helping hand. Gabriel Clark again for thorough, over and above learning of his French vocabulary from Madame Taylor. Hussein Khan, another nomination for you for your English work, says Mrs. Bray. And Oscar Elam, well done for your hard work in science, from Mr. Barrett. Tristan Bush has been busy protecting his goal in the 7P versus 7BA match. I don't know the result of that. I'm looking forward to finding out. Pippa Taylor, busy getting involved, taking herself out of her comfort zone, which is good to hear. Ethan Boll, lots of respect in French. Pippa Taylor, working hard in geography. Well done. That's your second nomination this week, Pippa. And Hussein Khan, another nomination for you for maths. So a good week in the Khan household. Well done. Sergio Aris-Hefield, lots of hard work, some amazing progress this term, says Miss Foster. Eddie Collins, remembering his locker key this week. A commendable effort to be better organised. Thank you, Miss Foster, for that. Theo Walker, although being a little disappointed with some of his exam results, has really decided to be determined to improve, and the evidence of that has been in his lessons this week. Well done from Mr. Lordy and from me too. Arlo Saywell deserves a well done for organising his locker so brilliantly. Books are stacked, items are neatly placed. Well done from Mr. Mitchell. Ian Shafiq and Theo Jenkins, both boys acted as a reliable phone a friend during a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz, says Miss Black. Max Lopez, Elliot Nicolau, Beau Clark, really good behaviour in a French cover lesson. Well done. Max Rocheron, a well-prepared speaking exam, performing valiantly. I love that descriptor, says Madame Taylor. Zach Moffat, called a legend by visiting musician Nathan Gerd because of his questions and enthusiasm last week, says Mr. Clark. And well done to Theo Walker, who on the back of that exam has been Memory Champion of the Week for Mrs. Lindley. Into the seniors, Patrick Gray continues to impress an exemplary attitude, says Mrs. Bray. Zachary Fitzgibbon settling down well, making wise choices. James Kilkenny, Patrick Gray again, showing good endeavour in science. Ted Bunya Ames and Dan Pepper both working well in lessons, says Mr. Hendry. And Alex Hill is the Year 9 Memory Maths Champion of this week. Theo Venzelar Pelly in 10H, a huge help to the KHA setting up for the second-hand uniform sale. Thank you to you, says Mrs. Hornstetter. And Follow Ione has completed his grade 5 cello exam. Well done. Looking forward to getting the results of that, Follow. Congratulations to Joe Seeger, who's achieved his Chief Scouts Award. That's fabulous, Joe. I hope to see a picture in the newsletter. Thank you, Mrs. Weston, for that nomination. And Josh Padfield, one to you, Josh. You are the Year 10 Maths Memory Champion this week. Into Year 11, Milo Russell, Jack Bettman. All their help with the second-hand closed sale was very well received, reports Mr. Bailey. Eddie Fisher has been watching a webinar on the Tudors and Stuarts as a part of his revision, and Eddie actually came and joined in that, even though he doesn't study the subject. So well done to you, Eddie. That's good to hear that you're taking a broader interest just beyond your own options. Both 11W and 11B were incredibly helpful with loading the minibuses with the Ukraine drop-off for the Red Cross. Thank you, says Mrs. Wraith. Max Mitchell-Nesbitt, Sam Slaley, Owen Fisher and Ethan Shee have been forming a band and using the music room regularly. It's lovely to hear you and to see you connecting in this way through your music, says Miss Foster. Many thanks again, in particular to Milo and Jack, Theo for lugging the boxes for the KHA all the way through Mrs. Witz's office, holding doors open at the same time and letting grown-ups through. Well done to Ollie Savage, who is this week's Maths Memory Champion in Year 11. And on a general note, again, this is from Miss Highlands, further pupils who deserve a mention for their exceptional help relating to our donations for Ukraine. Darren Noosa, James Dowling, Nathan John, Dylan Newman and Frankie Larter. They gave up their break and their lunchtimes in order to help get everything sorted, and it was very much appreciated. So there we are. We're into the penultimate full week of term on Monday. The weather looks set fair for the weekend. I really hope that everybody can get out and about, start to really work on their mental health at this very busy, stressful time, and return on Monday with a skip in their step and real zest for what promises to be a very exciting and important few days left of this spring term. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.